Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Jimmy and Jey Uso, aka the Usos, reunited on WWE SmackDown to take on Solo Sikoa's bloodline. Meanwhile, the New Day's Kofi Kingston fired subtle shots at the duo for their recent issues and split. Many expected the New Day to end and Kofi Kingston or Xavier Woods to turn on the other. However, the unthinkable occurred, and the duo stayed strong while turning on Big E instead. They removed him from the faction on their 10th anniversary to start a new chapter. In an interview on the Battleground podcast, one half of the legendary tag team, Kingston took a subtle shot at the Usos for their recent split and going after each other at WrestleMania XL. Moreover, he stated that he wouldn't do that with Woods or Big E due to their bond and brotherhood. On the most recent edition of WWE Raw, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods went off on Big E for abandoning them for months and kicked him out of the faction on their auspicious day. Speaking on the Cheap Heat podcast, WWE analyst Peter Rosenberg thought the Usos could side with Big E against the New Day and feud with the heel duo, with the former world champion in their corner. While the New Day and main event Jey are on Raw, Big Jim is currently signed to SmackDown. However, stars frequently cross brands during rivalries, and it should be no different should this feud come to fruition. In the world of professional wrestling, drama, rivalries, and feuds are as much a part of the spectacle as the athleticism and charisma on display. Over the years, fans have witnessed countless legendary tag teams form, dominate, and disband in spectacular fashion. One of the most memorable tag teams in WWE history has been the legendary duo of the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley. Known for their hard-hitting style, incredible chemistry, and the famous 3D finishing move, the Dudleys became synonymous with tag team excellence. Yet, the legacy they forge is far from just nostalgia. It's an enduring symbol of tag team dominance that set the standard for every subsequent generation. Recently, during an appearance at a live WWE event, Bubba Ray Dudley, one half of the legendary Dudley Boys, stirred up some tension with a few pointed remarks that seemed to subtly target the current tag team elite, Jimmy and Jey Uso, known collectively as the Usos. The Usos, with their unique blend of charisma, high-flying ability, and undeniable bond as twin brothers, have dominated the tag team division in WWE for the past decade. But are their reigns truly deserving of the accolades they've accumulated? Bubba Ray's comments raise questions about how the Usos stack up against the legendary teams of the past, including his own. The seeds of Bubba Ray's remarks began to sprout when he was asked during an interview about the current landscape of WWE's tag team division. Bubba, who has been vocal about his views on the state of professional wrestling, didn't hesitate to make it clear that, in his opinion, today's tag teams have a lot to live up to. The Usos are great, Bubba said, with a sly smile, but they still have a lot to prove if they want to be remembered like we were. We were a tag team that set the bar. They're just another team in a long line of talented tag teams. But the Dudleys, well, we made the tag team division something you couldn't ignore. Now, for those familiar with Bubba's personality, this type of comment is par for the course. Bubba Ray Dudley has never been one to shy away from speaking his mind, especially when it comes to defending his own legacy and legacy of his tag team. However, the subtle jab was still enough to spark conversation among fans and experts alike, especially considering the Usos' current standing as one of the most decorated tag teams in WWE history. The Usos have certainly earned their place at the top. As members of the renowned Inoue family, their heritage and wrestling bloodline have propelled them to incredible heights. Their reigns as SmackDown Tag Team Champions have been historic, with the brothers involved in a deep storyline revolving around their connection to Roman Reigns and their pivotal role in the Bloodline faction. Along the way, they've earned multiple championships, consistently putting on thrilling matches with some of WWE's finest teams. However, Bubba Ray's comments weren't just about their accomplishments. They were about the essence of tag team wrestling, the quality of the matches, and, most importantly, the impact that these teams have left behind. Bubba, alongside his brother Devon, was part of one of the most iconic eras in tag team wrestling. The Dudley Boys weren't just about great in-ring work. They were about spectacle, about making tag team matches unforgettable. Their rivalries with teams like the Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian created some of the most talked about matches in WWE history, such as the infamous TLC matches at WrestleMania and SummerSlam. These battles weren't just about titles or championships. They were about defining a generation, crafting moments that would remain burned into fans' memories for years to come. Bubba Ray's words echo a sentiment that's shared by many veterans of the business, that today's tag teams, while undeniably talented, lack the same level of impact that the likes of the Dudley Boys brought to the table. When we walked into the arena, the entire crowd knew it was going to be something special. Bubba explained, his tone firm. And you can't teach that. That's the difference between being the good tag team and being a legendary tag team. He's not just referring to the success they achieved in the ring, but also to the aura they created. The Dudleys became synonymous with not just winning titles, but with making tag team wrestling a spectacle in its own right. The Usos, though incredibly gifted in the ring, have yet to match the same level of cultural impact outside of the Bloodline storyline. Bubba Ray's comment about the Usos' place in history seems to be a reflection of his desire to protect the legacy of tag team wrestling. He's been in the business long enough to know that the greatest tag teams didn't just exist to win championships. They defined the very essence of tag team wrestling. The Usos may have had their share of memorable matches and rivalries, but Bubba's assertion that they have more to prove is a way of saying that their true legacy isn't cemented until they elevate the tag team division to the level that the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys did in their heyday. Some might say Bubba Ray's comments are simply a case of one wrestler trying to remain relevant in a business that's continually evolving. After all, the tag team landscape has changed dramatically since the height of the Attitude Era. Today's WWE is dominated by a different type of spectacle, with more emphasis on storytelling and individual character development. The Usos, as part of the Bloodline faction, have certainly become larger-than-life characters in their own right. But Bubba's remark is a reminder that in the world of tag teams, it's not just about championships. It's about setting trends, creating memories, and making the division feel vital. Bubba Ray's comments also hint at a deeper issue in professional wrestling: the dilution of what makes tag team wrestling special. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, tag teams like the Dudley Boys, the Hardy Boys, and Edge and Christian brought a sense of urgency and excitement to the division. Every tag match felt like a must-watch event, filled with high spots, drama, and jaw-dropping moments. Today, some fans feel like the tag team division has lost that sense of unpredictability. As Bubba put it, in our day, you didn't know what you were going to get, but you knew it was going to be something unforgettable. It's clear that Bubba Ray's comments weren't meant as a full-fledged attack on the Usos, but rather as a challenge. A challenge for the Usos to transcend their current level of success and build a legacy that matches the monumental shifts in tag team history that Bubba and his contemporaries orchestrated. Whether or not the Usos take this challenge to heart remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: Bubba Ray Dudley's words have reignited the conversation about what it truly means to be one of the greatest tag teams in WWE history. In the end, perhaps it's not about who has the most titles or the longest reigns. It's about who can make the fans believe that their tag team is more than just a collection of matches. It's about legacy. And for Bubba Ray Dudley, that legacy is far from being overshadowed by the current generation.